when you're starting your Mark Wahlberg daily routine. It is crazy. Like, I believe that Mark Wahlberg is busy. Now, that doesn't mean that I believe that what he is doing is work. There is a difference between the two. The dude legit woke up at 2:30 a.m., 15 minutes of prayer. People are roasting him for stuff that is not fair. People are like, "Oh, he wakes up at 2:30 but he doesn't do anything till 2:45. What's up with that? That seems pretty inefficient." Brother, you want him to take a shit on there? Like, that's not sensible. What you should be roasting him for is that there's gaps in the schedule, and the gaps, in my personal opinion, I have to imagine that that's where a lot of that, because I think everybody has some degree of downtime. I have to imagine those gaps are where the downtime is, but meanwhile he's trying to say, like, check it out, there's no days off. I only have 30 minutes to play golf every morning and 2 hours to spend in the cryo chamber. At one point on his daily schedule, he has a snack that lasts for like an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that. That's just not sensible. There's something going on in that snack period that he's not talking about. I bet he's looking at his phone. It's made up. I'm not saying everybody is lying about how much they're working. I do believe that he's a busy person, whether that work has merit or not. I'm simply saying, I don't know, there's just something, I think we have to start talking about the existence of, like, hustle psychosis. Like, people who get really into, like, rise and grind type culture that are like, you have to grind your ass like every single day and like, here's how to do it. It fucks up your brain. I honestly think it does. Like, it's crazy to me that like once a day on Twitter, I get like an algorithmically served tweet that is like, it's crazy that people think you can just post videos on YouTube. I hired a YouTube consultant to help me make my videos even tighter, and like, look at what my metrics have done for the last month. And I'm like, the replies are full of people that are like, so true, so happy for you, bro. And I'm like, can you imagine, just apply this to like any other, what I would describe as an artistic medium. You imagine if like David Lynch was like, fucking check it out, or David Cronenberg was like, I used a new cinematographer on Crimes of the Future and look at the box office receipts that we got. My analytics are so much better on Crimes of the Future than they were on my last 3 movies. And everyone was like, so true, David Cronenberg. David Cronenberg, we love seeing your weeklies from the box office. That's personal growth. No, you just be fucking like, dude, you made a sick movie where Viggo Mortensen has like a liver that produces plastic or something like that, and it freaked people the fuck out, and that's cool. Like, I get why, like, because if you're like a YouTuber, it makes sense to me that you want to talk about your business because it's you, and people like to talk about themselves. But to broadcast like every day, like, it wasn't like I made my videos better, I'm following my passions, I'm making like more art with more merit or videos that are more interesting. It was just like, check out like my analytics. I'm like, why would your audience care? But I guess maybe there's different strokes for different folks. Maybe the videos have gotten better, but maybe like, you got to play the game a little bit when you're in the business. But whenever people are like, check it out, I changed the thumbnail on my shitty video and it did 15% better. And people are like, this is inspiring. I'm like, it's not inspiring. They didn't do anything. It's like when Lay's changes the design on the potato chip bag. And you're like, well, it's still barbecue on the inside. It's still tasty, don't get me wrong. But like, what are we doing here? Anyway, it's not like my videos are art, but I think at least over time I've gotten less self-important about it. I'm way less self-important about it. I used to run a podcast with Dan about like best practices on Twitch and YouTube. It's the most self-important thing you can do. Nowadays, I don't even show up on time. Like, this is personal growth. If you can't accept that, that's on you. It feels so good when you realize you still got it. Best flavor of haichu? I think I'm a peach guy. I was thinking about when I taught in South Korea. It's so funny. I was thinking like, you know, think of the word rough. R-O-U-G-H. Rough. Think of the word bot. B-O-U-G-T-H. That's not, it looks like it should be buffed, but it's bot. Okay. And I was thinking about how like my students would say like, teacher, how are we supposed to remember this? And it was like a Giga Chad meme. It would be like, oh, there's a lot of complicated rules. I before E, except after C, and except sometimes, and also these are the Mrs. Vandertramp words. Me as a teacher, Giga Chad moded. You just have to remember it. Does linguistic dominance ever make you feel morally superior to those surrounding you? Perhaps the feeling of a stronger mental? I'm going to answer your question with a piece of advice. Stop reading Substack. You've gone too far down the rabbit hole. You don't believe anything can see the future except crypto-driven prediction markets. You use a dry deodorant that doesn't come in a roll-on stick. It comes in like a tub, and you got to put like a little. It's made of silver iodide crystals, the same thing that the Chinese government uses to make it rain before big parades, so that it's not going to rain during the parade. We've gone too far. I see it a lot, and I'm sad to say it's people trying to like lint their lives completely. You know what I mean? I couldn't think of a better way to express it. People min-maxing the way they put the bread. Do you put the bread down first before you get the sandwich going, or do you run the meat first? Well, I run the meat first because there was one study that came out of the University of Copenhagen that is like, if meat touches cheese first, it releases a phytotoxin. We're all gonna be here for a long time. I think we got to come up with we gotta honestly be kinder to ourselves, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, my personnel opinion. I think there's a time in your life for the pursuit of relentless self-improvement. You know, what's the best way to do this? What's the best way to do that? Oh, I read an article on Men's Health that said the best time statistically to jerk off to raise your testosterone levels as much as possible is like right before lunch. So I always tell my boss that I've got food poisoning so I can go to the bathroom before we have to go out and meet clients and stuff like that. You just... Hopefully you're going to be alive for like 80 years. You can't keep that pace up forever. That's like saying, what's the best way to run a marathon? Just run as fast as you can for like 4 hours. Like it's like the way that a child thinks that you would do that, you know? It's like me saying like I would just never pit in Formula One. You know, it's not in the world of realism. What was this all in relation to? I don't remember. Do you feel superior by being linguistically good? Well, here's the thing. I took issue, and by issue, I mean I was just having a laugh at the end of the day. Oh! Please tell me someone got eliminated. We're so back! I simply took issue with the way that it was phrased. It was phrased very substacular, okay? Like, I've never heard the expression linguistic dominance, but I bet it comes from a newsletter you gotta pay like $5 a month to get access to. I may be wrong. At the end of the day, I'm just a guy trying to make people laugh. Get on it then? Oh, good thing I wore my brown pants. Oh, man. We're so unbelievably back. We came second. We're probably not going to come first. I'm not trying to sandbag. Come on, brother. Like, I'm looking, you got coconut armors, you got lads. You don't need to stream snipe me here. We can just queue a couple times and see how it goes, right? Not hitting the coconut armor, kind of devastating. You got me, Buffalo 50. You got me. I think being positioned as a sniper team in a world where it's not really sniper driven is like, that might have helped us out there. That was a good one.
You make me feel like I'm living a traffic dream. The way you built a lane, I will drive to the grocery store and everywhere else, and everywhere else. You got your top pulled back, got your luggage rack, got your traffic dream tonight. Yeah, when you ripped up jeans and your tight ass jeans with your turbo team tonight. How does it go? When you, baby, lay your hands on me with your ripped up jeans, with your teenage zines tonight. Something like that. It's a pretty good song.